May 11th, 2018.
This is Nerd Bourbon, episode 49. I am ready to create.
God damn.
I am ready to create. I am ready to create.
And I'm Todd Sturgill. Let's keep it going.
Yeah. Before I like said that as we were getting ready to record today, and you were like, just keep going, just keep saying it. You're doing like a mic test, and I just for like fucking 30 seconds, I am ready to create. I am ready to create. How you doing, man?
Terrible.
That's fair.
Nah, I'm alright. I just, honestly, it was one of those things where I think both of us just didn't even want to wake up to do this.
Hell no. I never want to wake up to do anything. But you know what? We're here, and we're ready to create. So we got kind of a lot to talk about this week, man. So I think we should start things off. Well, let's just get right into it. I think we should start things off by talking about Superhot.
Super hot.
Super hot.
Hot.
Super hot.
Super hot.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you start us off. What's going on with Superhot?
So, I guess it makes more sense for me to talk about it because I actually
You've played
put
way
more
more
time in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, Superhot is honestly interesting because you brought it up a little bit, like, on the last episode, didn't you? Or it was something we just talked about, like, it was something we just talked about.
Yeah, because, like, I was actually gonna bring it up on the last episode, but then, like, once time started, kind of running out, I was like, you know what, I'll bring it up next week.
Because sometimes it's hard to, like, differentiate between, like, what we actually talk about on the podcast and what we just talk about.
Yeah, what we just talk about in person, yeah.
Yeah, so Superhot is a very interesting, like, first-person shooter that time only moves when you move.
Is it really a first-person shooter, though? Because I consider it a puzzle game.
That's a good way of looking at it. Because I in my eyes, it kind of is more of a puzzle game.
It's not really. If you were to consider it a first-person shooter, it's kind of a shitty first-person shooter.
Right? It really is. But it's still, like, it is. I mean, there is people that can still call it a first-person shooter, but I think it is a better way to look at it as a puzzle game. And there is, like, a story to it, but I honestly gave two shits about that story. Like, it was like, whatever.
So, like, there's the little interstitials where, like, it seems like you're... I mean, I'm very early on into it, but it seems like you're, like, kind of testing, like, a computer game or virtual reality sort of thing.
The whole thing is, like, you're kind of, like, just playing this, like, virtual reality game.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you kind of get, like, so obsessed with it. It's a weird thing. It's really weird.
What's interesting about that is, like, it's cool because the game, you can actually play it on VR. Like, you can play it, there's a PSVR version of it, so it'd be really interesting to play that. And kind of really be immersed.
I think it'd be a better way to play it.
Yeah, a lot of people, like, pretty unilaterally say that is the definitive version of Superhot, is Superhot VR.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, what is Superhot? We've established puzzle game first, but yeah, what's the whole hook?
Well, the whole thing is, like, I mean, there is other modes to play. There's, like, the endless modes once you beat it, but the main crux of it is, like, you just kind of, like, just go through these different levels, and you gotta, like, figure out different ways to get past. That's where the puzzle thing kind of comes into. And you basically, like, have random enemies spawn in, and they're shooting at you, and you basically have to figure out how to take them out while also kind of like making your way towards them slowly. If you don't have a gun, you can just beat the shit out of them, which is always fun. That's some fun shit right there.
Right.
The melee is just very satisfying for me because you're just like, bah, bah, bah!
yeah, you just get those quick punches in, yeah.
Yeah, it's that good shit. And it's just entertaining. Like, it's just kind of like, it's entertaining to, like, play, and then also to watch. Like, as you finish the level, it's entertaining to actually sit there and watch the replays in full speed.
Yeah, so, like, the whole kind of hook of the game is, like, time only moves when you move. Yeah. So, like, you're doing these meticulous, sometimes minutes-long kind of sequences where you're just very slowly, you're dodging bullets from several directions, and you're looking around your environment, and you're doing this stuff that is really cool on its surface level. Like there's situations where you kind of like slowly inch your way towards these dudes. You don't have a gun. You punch them, knock their gun out of their hand, grab it in midair, turn to the side and shoot their friend, and like throw the gun at their other friend and grab the new gun out of his hand with more ammo in it and then finish them off.
Mm-hmm.
And
here's the thing though, if you do that quick in the if you do that in the like kind of quick in the slow mo shit, that shit looks hilarious because it's so quick in the full speed.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah, so, like, you're doing all of this, like, meticulous planning. And that's why I think I consider this more of a puzzle game, because the game, like, what I really like about the game is, like a good puzzle game, it has a very clear, defined hook. Like, that's the hook. Time only moves when you move, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, it gives the player a lot of space to think. Like, because time only moves when you move, you can sit there and think about your actions as long as you want, And you can pull off these really cool things in slow motion or like no motion, and then at the end of the level, it does that really satisfying thing where it just shows everything that you did on full speed, and you just look like you're fucking John Wick, Yeah,
it's good shit, man. I had a good time, especially with the way I played it. I was hanging out with one of my close friends. Yeah, it just kind of was one of those things where we would like take turns. Basically, it's like if we fucked up 3 times, we'd switch out. Basically.
Yeah, and the structure of the game is just very like freeform like that. Like I could see it's kind of like almost has an arcadey kind of feel. Like it would be right at home with like it would make a great like light gun game in a Dave and Buster's. Like I could totally like it has that vibe to it. So like I could see how passing the controller back and forth would be fun. Yeah, it's good. I bought it. It was on sale on PSN, and like I've always been interested in it. And I just kind of picked it up on a whim and was playing it. And I think I was actually on Skype with you, and I was like, "You would like this. You should try this."
No, I definitely did. It was good. Good time.
Yeah. Beyond that, I think you wanted to kind of quickly give us a rundown on some of the new Monster Hunter content, because we haven't talked about Monster Hunter in a while. I kind of fell off of it. I'm not really playing it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really been playing it myself, but I recently got back into it with a mutual friend of ours, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And
shout outs to Tyler, my senpai.
Yeah, shout outs. So we just like we randomly jumped on because he wanted to check out like the new stuff that he's been missing out on, and I technically faced what is his name, Devil Joe, before.
Right.
I didn't go after like him completely. I
you
just
like
kind of
fucked with it a little bit. Yeah.
I fucked with it for maybe 5 minutes to see what his deal was.
Right.
And fighting him like completely, what my original statement is still true. He's basically an upgraded Anjanath.
Okay.
For the most part, and dear Lord, he has a lot of health. Like I honestly see why most people when they fight the Devil Joes, they capture it.
Right, just to make the fight quicker.
Yes, just to make it quicker. Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real, like, even with 4 people, like it wasn't that much of a difference between 2 people or 4 people fighting them. Honestly.
Oh really?
It was just it's pretty. It's not like the fight's hard. The only issue with doing it with 4 people is it's more chances for the randoms to fuck up on some real shit.
Right.
Because I don't get fucked like that. Unless it's like the random like RNG of like you get stunned and he does like a complete bullshit attack and you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I always kind of like keep my finger on Monster Hunter's pulse. Like I like seeing what's happening with it. I like the way Capcom is supporting that game. I think I'm really waiting on like something really big and exciting. Like,
see, that's actually I really want to fuck with that that siege thing, that like special like that big ass event for that new Elder Dragon.
Well, like that's cool and everything, but isn't that only limited time?
Yeah.
Like
I don't really even know how to like fuck with it. I did see some really fancy gear. I saw like I think it was like a chess piece. They got like this golden cloak. I was like, I need this. What is this?
I want them to like. I just want them to make like, and the game's only been out a few months, so whatever. But I would love to like. I would just love to see them make like a big kind of meaty like expansion for Monster Hunter, maybe like a new zone, like shit like that.
Yeah, that would be
like
That would be interesting.
Completely new
Honestly.
monsters. Bring in like a lot of the stuff from the old games, like that's the kind of shit that would really kind of blow my skirt up. But, it's cool to see that they've added these new monsters and these new like Capcom crossover stuff, but I don't know, I'm not like it's not enough to like rope me back in cuz I never even finished the game. So,
I know. I know you did.
after like 80 hours, I didn't even finish the story.
Right? That's I kind of want to do a little mini Destiny update.
Right, because you're still in your honeymoon phase with your new PC. So
Oh, be quiet. Be
for
quiet.
for some reason you picked up Destiny 2 on PC.
Oh, yes, I did. And I'm gonna be real. It's good shit. It's good shit on PC.
Oh, I know it is. I actually played the beta
It's-
on PC and really liked
It's
it.
very good shit. Oh my god, that shit's smooth as butter.
Yeah, it's really nice playing it with like uncapped frame rate and stuff like that. Like that's those
Yeah,
60
like
frames.
mouse and keyboard, and also I just like playing it with mouse and keyboard. Honestly, I didn't think I would like it as much as I do.
Well, honestly,
It's good.
dude, that's like all shooters I prefer with mouse and keyboard. But with the exception of maybe
yeah,
Halo.
It's been I feel that it's been a good time though. I actually played through the brunt of like the Warmind DLC on PC.
Uh huh. Well, let's not dig into the Warmind
No, I'm
stuff.
gonna say this without any spoilers.
Okay.
I technically like it more than Osiris, but that's not saying much.
Okay, yeah. I think the Warmind stuff we'll save for another episode. Cause
Yeah, that's that'll be
haven't-
probably episode 51.
probably because
Probably.
we haven't actually played Warmind together yet. So let's
Yeah.
save that for
worry.
later.
Oh, we will. Other than that, like the thing with Destiny on PC to me is like you think I wasted money on the game. I don't think I did because I think I am going to be playing it a lot with Tyler and a couple of his friends.
I don't think you
So-
wasted money on the game. I just think that like because you're reminding me of me like when I first got this laptop. I was like, oh shit, I got this new I can play games on this now. I'm gonna buy fucking everything. And in the first week that I had the laptop, I think I literally spent like $120 on PC
Dear
games
Lord.
that I like never, like
You know what annoyed me is how much I spent on Destiny on PC.
you paid the full 60.
Oh yes, I did.
Yeah, I figured.
But no, it was more than that because I bought the expansion pass too.
Yeah, so you probably
It
paid
was
what?
like $90, man.
Oh god.
And then
damn
it was
it.
like, and then there was the audacity on these motherfuckers is taxing my ass for like $5. I was like, oh.
Never. I changed my mind. I do think you wasted your money on that. On console, that shit's like $12.
I know, dude. I was like, yeah, like that shit hurt me when I was buying it. I was like, oof.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
So
fuck it.
far,
I mean, spend your money
I've
however
been-
you
I've
want.
been
I mean,
enjoying it.
yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to jumping in and playing Warmind, but I'm on that constant quest to find the 25th hour of the day, and it just isn't working out for me.
It doesn't exist for you, my man.
Nope, it sure doesn't. Free time is not a thing. Was there anything else you wanted to say about Destiny on PC?
The only thing I really want to talk about, like the only other thing I would want to talk about, is some of the things I've seen with like the exotic update. But honestly, we can get more into that once you've actually dealt with it.
Yeah,
by episode
I
51.
honestly think that so what Todd was referring to earlier, we have next week's episode is going to be an evergreen episode. So because I'm going to be out of town, so we're going to have that in the pipe. But then once we come back, I think we're definitely gonna I think we're gonna have a lot of shit to talk about with Destiny. I think a large portion of that is going to be kind of a full breakdown of Warmind and stuff like that, and the different changes with the updates and stuff. I think you're going to get a really large Destiny update with episode 51. So, so was there anything else you wanted to bring up? I don't want to interrupt you or anything like that.
That's really it, honestly, because I kind of like went through it quicker than I would like. I kind of wanted to, but I wanted to kind of get to the big bombshell you were talking about. Before
Yeah,
we started
so
recording.
we're getting into E3 season, and it's exciting. It's exciting times. It's like Christmas for nerds, And, one thing that inevitably happens, just around E3 time, E3 is about a month away at this point. That kind of month before period is when a lot of things start getting leaked, right? And this morning, or this afternoon rather, Walmart fucked up. And they put their pre-orders live for a lot of games that I'm assuming are going to be revealed at E3. And one of which is all but confirmed because the official Twitter account kind of tweeted about it. But I just want to, and this is still kind of fresh, so it hasn't really made the rounds. And, take this all with a grain of salt. This is not a confirmation that these games exist, but I mean, spoiler alert, retailers get the information about these upcoming games well in advance. Because they have to prepare their marketing and their pre-order numbers and all that. So, this is probably pretty legitimate. I'm just going to run through this list. And I want your raw takes. So, some of these we already know about, okay? The first one that I see here is Tom Clancy's The Division 2. Now, we already knew about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably coming this fall. No big deal. We've got Splinter Cell for PS4.
Okay.
That's something that we didn't know about, right? So, probably a new Splinter Cell's coming this year. Something called Insurgency Sandstorm. I have no idea what the fuck that is. The Last of Us Part 2. Which, I'm like, does that mean that they're going to give a date of some kind at E3? It's not going to be 2018, but, are they going to give kind of like a, an early to mid 2019 kind of, or like a loose 2019 date at E3 maybe? Or, what's the deal? Just Cause 4.
Ooh.
So here's the interesting thing. There's a couple of Square Enix properties on this list, and what's interesting is Square Enix this year, they actually just announced a couple days ago that Square Enix is actually going to have their own press conference this year for the first time in 5 years. So
awesome.
So they actually have a lot of stuff, and I mean this is going to be the year that Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, presumably. So they're probably going to have, and we're going to do the E3 predictions episodes like we did last year. We're going to do that again, and I'm going to get into all that then. But this is probably going to be the year that they really break down and kind of blow out Kingdom Hearts 3 and give a release date and everything. We've got I'm not going to talk about WWE 2K19. Of course, there's going to be
why not, man?
Assassin's Creed.
Ooh, okay.
So maybe we'll hear about the next Assassin's Creed game at E3. We've got Destiny Comet. Now, this is interesting because it's pretty obvious, I think, that we're going to get the new Destiny expansion, the kind of big Taken King expansion, the September update.
Yeah.
That seems obvious to me that we're going to get that.
It's going to be the good old Taken Queen.
I like
I
that.
made that joke. I actually made that joke recently to Tyler. Because I honestly feel like that's probably what they're going to end up doing. You're going to deal with Savathun and shit like that.
Maybe. I mean, I just, Destiny is almost certainly going to have a large Taken King-sized update this September.
Yeah.
And it's Destiny 2 is very much following the blueprint of Destiny 1. And so, yeah, this September is almost certainly going to have a large expansion. And that's probably going to be revealed. This is something I was going to predict during our E3 predictions episode, but that's almost certainly going to be revealed at Sony's conference. We've got Final Fantasy VII Remake, so maybe we're going to get a date for that. Which they've said in the past is going to be an episodic game, so maybe we'll get the kind of news of the first episode of that's release. Metroid Prime 4 for Switch, which we knew was happening, but maybe that's coming sooner than we think. If Walmart's going to be taking pre-orders on it. Super Smash, which is supposed to be coming this year. Now, here's the big one. Borderlands 3.
All memories
Now, I've been predicting for a long time that I think that this is the year that we're finally going to hear something about Borderlands 3. As you know, and I think I've even said it on the podcast. I've been predicting for a long time. I think 2018 is the year. I don't know if it's coming out this year. I don't know if it's ready to go this year. But I think this is the year that Borderlands 3 is at least made official. You know?
Yeah, 'cause I think it's about fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, really, you know, and they've been talking about it. You know, they've been working on it for a long time. I think this is finally the year that this is going to happen. I think Borderlands 3 is going to be a thing. Lego DC Villains. Now, I don't really play many of the Lego games, but I do thoroughly enjoy the Lego DC games. And
I know you do.
You know, I'm a DC fan. And yeah, that's probably going to be something that I fuck with, if that's true. Beyond Good and Evil 2, which may suggest... I really don't think that game's anywhere close to being done, but it may suggest that we see a little bit more of it at E3 this year, which is nice, because that's not really something I was expecting. I kind of expected them to... You know, they announced it last year with that really cool trailer and everything, but I think everybody kind of expected them to just kind of fall off after that and just kind of drip feed information. Dreams... which is interesting, because I kind of forgot that Dreams was a thing.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Dreams is a game by Media Molecule, the Little Big Planet developers.
Okay.
And it's you've probably at least heard of it. It's a game where you can basically make like any game, like anything. You like that's kind of their goal, is they want you to be able to make like whatever you want. There are people that made like straight up like 3D platformers in Dreams, you know, like the tools are like very robust. You'd have to look up, it's really hard to describe. And I think that's actually one of the things I'm worried about with Dreams. Like, if it's hard to even describe what the fuck it is, you know what I mean? Like, like Little Big Planet, at least, it had the creation tools and stuff like that, but you could still say Little Big Planet is a platformer, you know? Mm-hmm. With an actual like structure. Dreams doesn't seem to really have that, at least not yet. And if it does, they have not telegraphed that to the audience fucking whatsoever. So, you know, I'm a little bit worried about Dreams. I really don't think it's going to do well. I think people are going to do really cool things in Dreams, but like it's been in development for a long time, and Media Molecule, like they're such talented developers. I really hope that I want them to do well. Like, I think Media Molecule is such an innovative, like, interesting developer. I want to see them continue to do well. The next game on here is really interesting. Rage 2.
Yeah, I won't lie to you. I looked up an article for it. I saw that. I was like, okay, that's cool.
So, this one is basically confirmed to be real, because this is the one. So the Rage official Twitter account made a little comment about that.
Okay.
And they kind of made just like a kind of poking fun at it, like, ah, shit, you guys revealed it, but it's whatever, you know, like they like made like little in MS Paint, like, not final box art, you know, because all it is just like black and just standard, just as Rage 2, you know. And, you know, they're kind of poking fun at it. And Pete Hines, the president of Bethesda, he actually like said, like, this is why we can't have nice things, you know? So, yeah, you know, they're having fun with it. They don't seem to be, like, super duper pissed. But it does, in my mind, really kind of, like, confirm that Rage 2 is a thing.
That's interesting. Because I like Rage.
I liked Rage too. Well, I liked Rage also. It's weird to say the word 2 like TOO when you're talking about a sequel. Yeah, I like that game. I did not expect to get a sequel to it though. Like, I think that would have been a really kind of weird reveal at the show. Like watching Bethesda's like, oh shit, they're making another Rage, you know? Mm-hmm. And I really think id's going to have a lot on their plate, man, and this is something we'll talk about more in depth at the E3 predictions episode, but I think Doom 2 is on its way, you know?
Ooh, yeah.
I think Doom 2 is probably going to be announced. There's no way they're not making another Doom. There's no fucking way they're not making another Doom.
Yeah, that game did too well for them
Yeah,
not to make another.
like Doom 2016 was a massive success and a great game. You know, one of the great first person shooters of this generation, in my mind.
No, definitely, without a doubt.
So there's a couple more things on here. You know, neither of us play Forza, and I think it's no surprise to anybody that Microsoft's every E3 they announce a new Forza game. So Forza Horizon 5 shouldn't really surprise anybody. But Gears of War 5...
I'm waiting for it to the point where the game just looks like you're just playing a movie.
I mean, it pretty much has been at that point for a while, honestly.
I know. That's why it's just like, I don't understand like how much further they can go with Forza.
But Gears of War 5 is a little interesting.
Okay, there we go.
That's on here. That's really the last thing on here that's worth mentioning. Gears of War 5, that's an interesting little tidbit. Now, I'm wondering, does it come out this year? Because if you think about it, like Gears 4 came out in what, October of 2016, I think?
That sounds about right, yeah.
Gears 4 came out. I'm pretty sure it was October 2016. October 11th, 2016. I just looked it up. So, I mean, it's been about 2 years since the last Gears of War game. And, you know, typically that's kind of the release schedule that they have done for Gears. So I'm wondering, is it ready for this fall? You know?
That'd be pretty awesome.
I mean, that would be a pretty major announcement, to be honest. Like, if they come out at E3 and say, hey, we got a new Gears of War game, beta's live fucking right now on Xbox One, and you can play it in, you know, October, so that'd be like 4 months away. You know?
Damn.
That would be a pretty megaton announcement, man. Like, when you look at the release schedule of the Gears of War games, okay, so Gears of War 1 came out in 2006. Gears of War 2 came out in 2008. Now, they took 3 years for Gears of War 3. That came out in 2011. But then Judgment in 2013, Ultimate Edition in 2015, and then Gears 4 in 2016. So the maximum amount of time since 2006 that there has been between Gears of War games is 3 years.
Okay.
So
it could be entirely plausible that it could be out this year.
Yeah, it could be. It is a very real possibility that Gears of War 5 is coming out this year. Very, very real possibility. And I don't know. It's kind of honestly, like, it was kind of a bombshell to wake up like, holy shit, like, okay. You know?
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Like, I didn't actually know what you were talking about, because I was like, you're like, we got a lot to talk about. I'm like what?
Yeah, it hasn't really made the rounds yet for some reason. I think, I don't know if it's because people like, I don't know if it's because people are kind of like taking it with a grain of salt. And look, you should, right? Like, I'm not saying that any of this is confirmed, but I mean, it's looking likely. You know what I mean? Especially since since the Rage Twitter account like acknowledged it and stuff like that. You know, it seems to me like this is probably legitimate, or a lot of this is legitimate anyway. Even if it's not, you know, there's certain things like just because they have The Last of Us 2 on there, that doesn't mean that The Last of Us 2 is coming this year. But stuff like Just Cause 4, like, that's probably going to be a thing at Square Enix's conference. You know, they've got Dragon Quest games on here. That's probably going to be a thing. You know, like,
I'm gonna say one thing about Just Cause 4, which I'm probably talking about more in like an E3 prediction thing, but
right,
they need to actually have multiplayer.
Yeah, just officially support co-op, because at that point I would get it.
Officially support that shit, because I'm gonna be real, that shit is fun.
Yeah,
like I used to play the Just Cause 2 multiplayer mod on PC.
Yeah,
that shit is fun as hell.
Now, here's what worries me about seeing this list, because, you know, we're seeing a lot of Square Enix games. We're seeing Just Cause 4 or Dragon Quest. We're seeing the Final Fantasy VII remake. I'm pretty sure this Insurgency Sandstorm or whatever the fuck, I'm pretty sure that's probably some weird like Square Enix game that they're gonna highlight. That's like just very like a total C tier game, you know. that they're gonna highlight. It's like that fucking what's that game they made that oh god that it's called like shit. I can picture the box art so vividly. Like Hunted or something like that, or I don't remember what it is, but they always have like these weird kind of like just total like C-list games that they like really highlight. Anyway, but there's no Kingdom Hearts 3 on this, so I'm like, either Square is playing that really close to the vest and not like letting retailers know about the date, which they may be because they kind of fucked up with the Final Fantasy 15 date that got leaked early. It's either a situation like that, or it's like, is it gonna get pushed? You know?
Ooh, yeah.
And I don't think they're gonna push it. I do think that Kingdom Hearts 3 is gonna come out this year. I think this is a situation where they're playing it close to the vest. They want the reveal to have a lot of weight at E3. You know? But yeah, there is that worry as a longtime Kingdom Hearts fan. There is that worry in the back of my mind of like, oh god, please don't push it. You know, it's been long enough. You know.
But don't you want that game to be as polished as possible?
Oh no, I do. Like, don't get me wrong. That's always my stance with game delays. Like,
yeah,
I can be disappointed that they happen, but it's never not good for the game. Like. Mm-hmm. A game delay is never a bad thing for the game, even if it's a bad thing in the eye of the consumer. It's never a bad decision for the game's quality. But I mean, Borderlands 3, though. I mean, how big is that? You know? Like, that could be huge. You know what I mean?
It's one of my favorite franchise game series.
It's a nice little taste of E3 before E3, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's just got me really excited for E3, and that was something that I knew we were definitely gonna be able to get a good little discussion out of. And then yeah, new Assassin's Creed, a new Splinter Cell potentially being announced. These are things that could be huge, you know. And
the thing is with like Assassin's Creed, I'm more interested in anything. Like, I'm more interested in what like Assassin's Creed is gonna do since Origins, because like that shit brought me back into the series. Like I like Origins too, even though I still need to go and play more. But I'm hoping that they're not going to go back to the annualized cycle with Assassin's Creed. They need to. They still need to like take. I feel like they really need to like still take their time with these games.
Yeah,
because it worked out for Origins. I don't want them to like, oh, Origins did really well. Let's shit these out again. No,
right?
Don't do that.
Yeah, I don't want them to just go right back to their old ways of just shitting out a new Assassin's Creed game every year. I
want that. I do want them to take their time and actually like make an actually good game. Because I love the shit out of Origins.
Yeah, so maybe even if they do announce another Assassin's Creed game at this E3, maybe like, maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's not necessarily coming out this year. Maybe it's still going to be a fall 2019 game. But you can get it announced and show like a trailer and everything like that, and do a typical, kind of do the typical marketing cycle for it, because a lot of times with games, they'll announce it, a year in advance, and then at least that way you'll know that it's coming, and they can do like, reveals and kind of, drip feed content to people before release. So maybe that's the route they're going with Assassin's Creed. Either way, I really hope that they're not annualizing the series again.
Yeah, it's the same, dude. I don't want them to do that again.
But it's nice to see that maybe Splinter Cell isn't dead, because that's a series that I've really grown to love over the years, and
Hashtag bring back Michael Ironside.
I guess we'll see, right? I'm looking forward to seeing what the deal is.
I think they actually that was at Wildlands. There's like apparently a little like event or some shit.
For what?
And for Wildlands, they had like this like a Splinter Cell like event.
I think I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually had Ironside back for that the voice actually.
Oh yeah. I think I heard about that. Which
I was like, shit, just bring his ass back for the new game too.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing is they did this thing with the last Splinter Cell game, Blacklist, where they were doing like motion capture. So they were trying to do like the Uncharted thing of having like a of having the actors like do the voice while motion capturing, and obviously
Yeah.
they couldn't have Ironsides doing both because he's fucking old, you know. So they had this like kind of younger actor play Sam Fisher, but it was also weird.
I mean, like,
What's that?
I mean, it wasn't bad or anything. I just Ironside's got that voice.
It wasn't bad, but it was weird because like it technically, like canonically, it took place after Conviction, but Conviction had this vibe of like, oh, I'm too old for this shit kind of thing, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And then like you come around with Blacklist and Sam Fisher looks younger, is acting younger, and even sounds younger, and is being played by a younger actor. So it's like what are we doing here? It's like 2 years ago you were acting like you were fucking an old fuck, you know, and like now you're like weirdly young, and you know, it was a weird vibe. I want Splinter Cell to kind of go back to its root.
Yeah, some real shit.
Even though ultimately I still liked Blacklist, and that's such a fun. Dan and I, dude, I can't even tell you how many hours we spent playing co-op on Conviction especially, but also Blacklist. Just disgusting. So very much looking forward to it if Splinter Cell's coming back, especially with co-op. Like Dan and I will play the shit out of that.
But you say that you'll play that with Dan, but will Dan play it with you?
No, I mean I really do think that, you know, especially that's actually why I'm going out of town next week. I'm going to his graduation. He's graduating college, and I think he's gonna have a lot more free time than he used to. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, was there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap this bad boy up?
I think that's about it, man.
Well, Todd, we have created this week. If you didn't know, you've been listening to Nerd Bourbon, the only show where you can get this good pre E3 content, this good Destiny content, this good bullshit. If you like what you've been hearing and you want to hear more, throw us that delicious follow or sub on whatever service you're listening to us on. If you got any questions, thoughts, comments, or concerns, or maybe if you have an idea for a topic you want us to cover on the show, leave them for us. And tell your friends about us. It's really the only way we have to grow. So thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.
Hang on, let me get this cough out of my throat. I've been trying to talk, you know, and like trying to lubricate my throat with water, but I've had this fucking dry cough.
Can I tell you something? Like, when you said that, I knew what you said, but it sounded like something else.
Let me get this cock out of my throat real quick. All right.